AI was supposed to be our ultimate sidekick, right? The hype was huge. It promised to turn 40-hour work weeks into 40-minute tasks. So why does it feel like we're in a creative crisis? Where literally anyone can type a prompt and get a good enough result, the things that used to make designers valuable, our technical skill and mastery of the tools, isn't something rare anymore. It's becoming the baseline. The game has shifted. And if you're a designer, especially if you're just starting out, understanding this shift could completely change how you approach your craft. And it all comes down to one word: taste. In this video, I'll break down what taste actually is, why is everyone talking about it now, and how you can actually develop it. So why now? Why is taste suddenly the topic of the moment? One word: abundance. In a world of scarcity, we treasure tools. In a world of abundance, we treasure taste. For years, having the right tools, the right software, the right technical skill was the differentiator, as information itself was scarce. For example, if you knew how to use Illustrator when most people didn't, you had an edge. If you knew how to code when most people couldn't, you were valuable. Then AI showed up, and almost overnight, scarcity flipped into abundance because it made those barriers disappear fast, which I admit is really scary. AI can now generate a logo in 10 seconds. It can design anything, like a website layout, a brand kit, to a social media post. The tools are now democratized to the point where anyone can create anything. AI was supposed to make things easier, but it made the one thing that actually matters: making something people care about way harder. When anyone can hit generate, the hard part isn't making the thing anymore. It is knowing what to make, for who and why. Firstly, let's define what taste actually is. It is the ability to recognize and appreciate what is beautiful, excellent, or appropriate. Taste is not the same as personal preference. It's not "I like this color" or "I like this design style." Those are personal opinions. Taste is something deeper. It is the ability to look at something, a poster, an artwork, or any piece of media, and not just feel something about it, but actually understand why it works and why it doesn't. One designer from my research put this really well. Taste is your inner filter. It's the quiet yes or no that guides what you keep and what you let go in your creations. Style is how that filter shows up in your work, which is the pattern of your choices. And visual literacy is the grammar, knowing how to read what you're looking at. Those three things, style, taste, and visual literacy, are all related. But taste is the one that shapes everything else. The common misconception is that most people think you're either born with taste or you're not. Like it's some magical eye for design that only some creatives have. That's a dangerous way to think. We have to redefine taste not as just something you like, but an active professional skill. As designers are now saying, taste is expertise in disguise. The only thing that separates great work from mediocre work is the judgment behind it. The ability to make decisions that aren't driven by data, but by a deep sense of what looks right. That judgment, that's taste. It's the one thing AI doesn't have, which is why it matters more now than ever. And the best part, developing taste isn't something innate. It's actually a muscle that can be trained over time, and it's a lifelong journey. As if the flood of AI content wasn't bad enough, there's something else happening at the exact same time: the social media algorithm. While AI creates too much production, social media is narrowing our consumption. Think about how you find new stuff today: your feed. Whether it's on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube, it's an engine designed to give you more of what you like. taste on social media starts to look less like a personal choice and more like a recognizable pattern. You save one photo of a minimalist apartment and suddenly your feed is just minimal interiors. You like one video essay and suddenly you're served more that sounds suspiciously similar. What you consume online influences your behavior and desires, which makes your taste. This is dangerous because you think your taste is original from your own life and experience. When you're borrowing someone else's perspective, taste, or opinion, it becomes difficult to make your own. In the past, taste was shaped by a messier mix of things. Your DVDs, the books you read, it's the things that are only from your own lived experience. Now, our preferences are shaped for us before we even have a chance to discover them. The algorithm has a huge say in what's cool and what's in, and serves it to us on a silver platter. The internet makes us think we're exploring this huge online world, but really, we're stuck inside a perfectly curated reality that was built just for us. The prime example of this was the Pop Mart Labubu trend, where everyone just had one, or a whole army of them. Your favorite influencers have one. Your algorithm shoves content down your throat saying you need this. And even your friends jumped onto the trend. Now you're convincing yourself that it actually looks kinda cute, and it is something that you need. Don't even get me started on the performative male trend, where every guy thinks that reading a book with their matcha and Labubu keychain makes them not like other guys, when they're all just a copy and paste of an archetype. Or those outfit aesthetic starter packs, where whole wardrobes are curated for you by someone else. This is where culture starts to look the same. Aesthetics in fashion, design, and home decor just become repeatable and predictable, creating a world that feels creatively flat in a sea of sameness. So we have AI flooding the internet with generic soulless content, and the algorithm narrowing what we get exposed to in the first place. The only thing that breaks that is taste, a filter that can actually tell the difference between real inspiration and algorithmic noise. Here's something I want to say to anyone who's just getting into design, or who feels stuck, the one who looks at their work and feels like it doesn't meet their vision. You already have taste. The gap isn't between people who have taste and those who don't. The gap is between your taste and your current ability to execute on it. And that gap closes with time and work. If you want to know more about this, I have a video where I dive deep into this exact problem. A lot of people quit right there in that gap. They feel the disappointment. They compared their beginning to a professional with years of experience. But that frustration you feel, that's your taste working, which is a good sign. The most important thing is to keep creating and expose yourself to great work, because taste and skill grow together, but only if you keep showing up. So here's the big question. How do you actually train your taste? The first step is to educate yourself. Design is fundamental to understanding taste. It is important to learn about art and design history to understand what is important in design today. Study the key design periods that are mostly from the 20th century that shape our modern world and culture. Examples are Bauhaus, Art Deco, and Minimalism. Learn the fundamentals of design. Examples of universal design rules are the rule of thirds, the golden ratio, grid systems, and color theory. The fundamentals are the reasons why some things just look good. Step 2. Curate, don't consume. The difference between scrolling and actually developing taste is curation. When you find something that stops you, save it, then ask yourself why it caught your attention. Use tools like Pinterest or a folder on your desktop. Build a visual library that reflects what resonates with you. Over time, that library becomes an aesthetic compass. The more you edit and refine your collection, keeping what moves you, discarding what doesn't, the sharper your eye gets. Step 3. Analyze, not just admire. This is the step that separates people who develop real taste and those who stay at surface level. When you find a design, ask why does this work? What is it about the spacing, color, or the typeface? What was the designer trying to do, and did they succeed? Because once you can articulate why something works, you can start applying that thinking to your own work. Create. Volume is key. Taste develops in the act of creating. You can look at great design all day, but until you sit down and try to make something of your own, you won't grow. Study the top works that are known for good taste and copy it for practice. Try making one thing a week. Design a poster, edit videos. It can be anything really. Your skill will catch up with your taste only through creating consistently. Step 5. Explore outside your own field. Great designers borrow from disciplines outside design. Study other creative fields like architecture or fashion. Go to museums to learn about the fine arts and history. Watch films to learn about cinematography and color. Your most original ideas almost never come from looking at other people's design work. They come from connecting the ideas that nobody else bothered to connect. The more you bring in from different fields, the more original and interesting your perspective becomes. The rise of AI and algorithms hasn't made designers obsolete, at least for now, but it has definitely rewritten the job. We used to define ourselves by our practical skill. We have to define ourselves how we use our judgment. It means the things AI can't copy. Your experience, your uniqueness, your point of view are now your asset. If you found this conversation insightful, give it a like and subscribe. Drop a comment below. What does taste mean to you? And what's one thing you found this week that actually inspired you? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.